no matter situations you're put in, whether it be as a child or as an adult, you really should not let that deter just how far you want to go or be your ceiling. If you've got the determination, tenacity, resilience to change your life as a person, a human, business owner, then there's no one stopping you. I'm a country boy. I was born in Dubbo.
Oh, yeah.
I was written up in the paper. I know. I was obviously special.
Yeah.
Mum was, I think she was around 25, 26 when I was the youngest of the three boys. Then, Mum ran into some problems with my father. He went to work and never come home. I think I was around about 1. So he went away one weekend and he never returned. So she come up here into the city, moved to Seven Hills and got a job here on running the Matilda Cruises. So she became a career woman.
Yeah.
She obviously had bigger dreams and I respect her for that.
And how old were you at that point?
So I think I was about 3, 4 at that stage. We had a lot of trouble with our babysitter. My middle brother come in one day and found her slouched over the toilet with a needle hanging out her arm, which was pretty much, that was it. So Mum called her brother in the last ditch attempt before she was probably going to lose us 3 kids. And then luckily my uncle, 3 kids of his own, took us 3 in. So from the age of 4, I've never grown up in a family home. It was hard for them. He was the local Sparky. He works for the farmers out there. My pop, is a local townie who worked for the farmers, only didn't retire, stopped working at 80. So it was a hard slog. We used to live off the land. We'd, have slaughter days and everyone would come around the house and we'd kill a beast and we'd put it in the cool room, and we pretty much, for butchery and meats and stuff, we lived off the land. I look back at it now and, he took us to all the sporting events. We played a lot of rep sport out there. I was always grateful for that. They kept food in our tummy. They were very strict. They were pretty much, I would say, a big reason why I can deal with the downturns in business and not give up. They've taught me discipline. They literally installed all my work ethic without a doubt. I took off at 14, tried to live with my mum again. That didn't work. Fell off the rails, come up here at 16 because my brother was like, mate, you need help, come up here. Got in the workforce, never looked back. As much as it was a bit of a challenging childhood, I think, mate, everything does happen to you, for you, but however, that should never deter you of what you've actually set out to achieve. And I think that's something where when I decided to have a red hot crack, which was probably, I would say 20. So I had my first child at 21, so he's now 9. And I think around that time was when I've gone, you know what, I'm good at my job. I didn't know what I wanted to, my end goal was, but I was like, no more mediocrity. If you start letting the outside sort of world, the things you can't control your mindset, you've already lost. So I started young, and I realised when I started roof tiling my first roofing trade, it was literally, I roof tiled Kellyville. So back 14 years ago, we were going from roof to roof, walking with the tile elevator, not even packing the truck up. We were like worked for Monier, and it was a hard slog. I was a tradie, apprentice to 3 tradies, and, from a young age, I got my trade young, so the money wasn't the problem, but I just knew it was not a trade that I wanted to do forever. So got my trade. Started metal roofing or roof plumbing as a trade as well when I was contracting to someone. At 20 to 23, I began contracting, so an ABN, and I would go in and sort of site manage for them on a contracting basis. So I was on, $50 an hour at that stage. So it was never money though. I put myself through the metal roofing. That was the second year, started my carpentry. And then all of a sudden at 24, I'd done my builders as well. So I was the youngest person in Australia at that time. I was the youngest person to have 4 trades. So pretty much for the 10 years that I was, from 16 to 24, so 8, 9 years I was doing it. And the last 3 years were 80 to 100 hour weeks because I was running my company during the day. I'd do my carpentry 2 nights a week, and then I'd do my builders 1 night a week and 1 full Saturday. So there was a whole year there where I pretty much barely saw anyone. That year was pretty much nearly.
But was it worth it?
Well, I'm here today.
That's what
you know what I mean?
It was worth it.
I haven't really used my builders because I had a business coach at the time, and he's like, well, 3 years in, I had $1 million business. And he goes, why are you going to become a builder now? And I thought to myself, I don't know. Cause I was working just for the sake of working. I was possessed. I was, as Conor McGregor and that says, you're obsessed. I was obsessed with work. I felt like this is the only way I will get that life that I'm desire. It's not through any luck. It's not through meeting someone.
You work for it.
Work for it.
Is it because you loved it? You're able to do that much work?
Yeah. Well, I like to be genuine. You know what I mean? If I had a big dream, I would have had the bigger dream younger than that. But then when I realized I can go out and achieve it, because out in the sticks, mate, there's no big dream. You know what I mean? Like there, I would have been one in any of them. It wasn't possible. I got to Sydney at 16, got my trade at 20. I started to see that snowball roll, right? I was building momentum as a young'un. I was good at my job. I was like, wow, I'm making, $1,500-$1,600 at 20. I'm running this guy's, multi-million-dollar company, 14 guys. He's not even coming to work. I thought, wow, I could be that guy. So I'm going to study. I'm going to do this. And then it just become, it got to the point where I set up the company. I was running his company. This is a funny story. I said, okay, I've got a tipper, all my tools, and an apprentice. I said, I want 20 for the apprentice and 50 for me in the truck. And he come back to me that afternoon. He goes, look, I will give you 50 for you. I said, well, I'm already on that. And he goes, I'll give you $1,750 for the apprentice. So it was like $67.50. So my pay rise, literally, that I asked for, just got taken off me. And I was like, okay, is that your best offer? He goes, yeah. So 3 days later, after working with that same guy that I've worked with for the last 3 years, I got another opportunity. I've never been back there since, and now that guy contracts to me.
Really?
So it's sort of the evolution, right? It just sort of kept going, kept building. And he was like, what are you going to do with your carpentry? You're never going to, all that kind of stuff and the metal roofing. And now I don't do the tiles anymore. I give him the tiles. Yeah. You know what I mean? Look, mental health, firstly, I just want to say is important. So important. Your friends, your work colleagues, your own as the leader of the business. I've been watching you, man. In all honesty, you've been an inspiration the last 2-3 months for someone like myself. You've been getting back to your roots. You've spent a lot more time with your family. You're being solid for your team, and that's really hard. You know what I mean? That is a real hard skill to have when the shit hit the fan plan is well underway. Look, I just want, listeners or people out there, if they've, lost their job or, they've lost their role at a company.
Or they've had to fire someone.
They've had to fire. Yeah.
They've lost their company.
That's right. They've had to let go of people and, it went down like a lead balloon, that kind of stuff. They're not feeling good. They've just got to understand and address it, I think mental health comes from being able to sit within that feeling, that emotion of not being okay and understand you're not okay. And by talking, but you don't talk to everyone about that stuff. You've got to pick that one friend.
The right people.
Yeah, that one friend, that one girlfriend, that one person that, no judgment. There's things happening right now that we have never, ever seen before, never had to endure. So for people to be feeling some type of way, myself, June was a really bad month for myself. If I could touch on that, was like 70-80% of my revenue gone.
Jeez.
In 1 month. So, and it was coming down, but everything I had contracts, but got pushed back because of COVID. Yep. So that was a hard month where.
So the start dates got pushed back.
Yeah, start dates got pushed back. But for me, it was hard because I had to get up every day.
Still need the cash flow.
Get up, going to work, knowing, you know what, you're losing money. The best thing that you can do about it is to let the people know around you. Well, as me as I felt a part of me was lost. Yeah. Have your friends, do what you enjoy with them and actually be open, let them know. So what I could say to people is speak, and it's not to speak to everyone, but find that one person, that confidant, that one person that you can open up to and talk about the emotion that you're feeling, and why you're feeling that type of way. I think that's the only way to address with myself. The only way I've been able to address it is to, okay, I don't feel good. Why am I not feeling good? And then sit there and talk about that reason why you're not feeling good, because you can get caught up in what's not going your way, right? You forget to, if I could have sat down and wrote everything that I achieved in the 6 years prior to the business, you know, everything that my son's come out and seen on these large projects, and you know, when I was running a job for the Department of Justice in Broken Hill, and he'd come out and he would fly out and sit with me on the plane, and all these cool stuff that's happened in the last 6 years. If I was to think about that rather than my work's pushed back and this and that, it changes your perspective. But unless you sit in that feeling of emotion and actually drill down into how you feel, I don't think you're going to be able to pull yourself out of it.